So this is going to be a rant about, I know you guys love my rants, about the Thing's beard. Yes, and a lot of people, the Thing's beard, what are you talking about? Okay, in the newest trailer for the Fantastic Four movie, the Thing had a beard, and they're like, oh, who cares? It's such a small potatoes. Who cares? Who really cares? And there's a lot I've said before about his beard in a previous video, but let's just talk about, first of all, it just doesn't really make any sense. But that's not the main purpose of this video. The main purpose of this video is the idea that because it's in a comic book, because the Thing had a beard in a comic book, means that it's okay to put in a movie. And this is where I have the problem. Yes, you could go into the fact that with the Thing's beard, it's like, oh, how does he shave? Does he have some special design machine? And why is his beard the same as technically his skin, his rock skin? I mean, this is hair. This is hair on your face. It's not the same as your skin, so it wouldn't look the same. It would make more sense if he grew like hair than rock. So, like, I don't grow more skin here. This is not more skinny here. It's completely different. So you can go into that, and it's just kind of stupid. Like, how does he shave? How long does it take to grow? Will they even talk about this kind of stuff? Probably not. It's more of just put it in there. Hey, it was in a comic. And they do that because, like, look, we're real comic book fans, us writers and us directors. We're real comic because we're going to put in this really obscure comic book reference. And I was like, that's great. There's certain things that work in comics because here's the thing. The people that are writing Fantastic Four comics, there's probably thousands, maybe even 10,000 stories written about the Fantastic Four. You know, you have the main series, then you have all the other times they appear in some random issue of, maybe a team up, maybe a one shot, maybe whatever. There's in it for whatever. They also have the cartoons, all sorts of stuff. So there's thousands and thousands of Fantastic Four stories being told. And most of them are not going to be very good, and the good ones rise to the top. But just because it's in a comic, because some artist and writing team was like, hey, why don't we just give him beer? Okay, cool, whatever. And they just put it in there just because they need to write something. And they're like, wouldn't it be cool if we just did that? And it's like, oh, that's interesting. But just because it's in a comic book, it's not something that needs to be put on a film. Because how many Fantastic Four films do we actually have? We have like the Roger Corman one that never got released. Then we have the two, I think it's Tim or Tom Story ones. Then we have the Fantastic Four stick. Is that the next one? And then this one? Is this 5? Is that where we're at? Am I forgetting one? Maybe 5. Whatever. It's 5 or 6, somewhere in there. If I can remember correctly. Now I'm like going through my head to make sure. So whatever. It's 5. Just because we're trying to capture the non-Fantastic Four fans, the non-comic book people. That's what you're gearing it towards. So when you throw in this obscure reference just to show that, like, oh, I've read the comic books, it's the same as the female Silver Surfer. It's like that kind of thinking. It's like, dude, just make a good story with a good movie. You don't have to throw in some obscure thing. They're like, well, the Silver Surfer was a girl in some obscure comic book. And it's like, no, the normal Silver Surfer, which even like the average person kind of knows a little bit, is like, wasn't the Silver Surfer a dude? That just confuses everyone. And it's just like, you just put in this stuff just because I don't even know why they do it. I don't even know why. And that's the thing that makes me mad. Just because, and then idiots out there, but it was in a comic book. It was in a comic book. So what if it was in a comic book? Is that his main character thing, having a beard? Is that like the thing is that his thing, the Thing's thing, to have a beard? No, it's obscure. And it has nothing to do, like, he has hair on his head. Ben Grimm has hair on his head, but he becomes bald when he becomes the Thing. His hair is gone. The human, Ben Grimm, his hair is gone. And he becomes bald as the Thing. Why would he not also be bald on his face? Or on his private regions, on his arms, his legs? He has hair on his arms. Why isn't there hair on his arms? Why? See, all these, it's stupid. You put the beard on him, then everyone has to ask all these questions. And then when they ask these questions as an audience member, they're like, well, that's kind of dumb. And yeah, it's might just, oh, whatever, it's just a throwaway thing. But then they think that's dumb. Now they're going in with that mindset as like, that's kind of dumb. That doesn't really make any sense. And now you make them disengage from the movie altogether, and you're like, what? And people are like, oh, it's such a minor thing. Who cares? If it was a comic, whatever. And it's like, I don't care if it was in a comic. It was probably dumb when it was in a comic book to begin with. And they write thousands of stories. This is a movie that they rarely ever do. So you would think you want to come in guns and blaze and make sure everything's like tightened up. Not like no one thinks like, okay, he has a beard. Why doesn't the hair on top of his head grow? I don't know. Why doesn't the hair on his arms and his legs grow? They're just his face. That's the only place he grows a beard, is his face. And it's going to be made of rock. And the same as his technically his skin or whatever it is. See, now you have these questions in your head. And now you're going to watch this movie with these questions in your head. And then you're like, well, that's just dumb. That's just dumb. And that's what you're thinking. You might not be a big dumb, like, oh, this is a movie breaking dumb. But it's like, I always say it's like, for me, I have a 3-strike rule. 3 strikes and you're out, and then I just disengage from the movie. So it's like, I can watch a movie and you can be like, oh, that doesn't really make any sense. But that's fine. That's like 1 strike. You know, that's weird. Why would that character go and do that? That's totally against everything the character's done private. Okay, that's strike 2. And then it's like, why is she doing that? Like, this doesn't make any sense. That's strike 3. And then I'm just like, oh, now the movie's dumb. And I just disengage. That's usually how I am. Other people, they might need 10 strikes. They might need 100 strikes. Some people just need 1 strike and they're out. But there's this point in every single viewer that there's a certain amount of things that are just dumb, don't make sense, or, you know, plot holes, this or that the average person will pick up on, and they go, And the more they do that throughout the movie, the more it's like, oh, that was a stupid movie. It didn't make any sense. Oh, it was dumb, whatever. And so it's just like, why give someone that easy of a strike? Like, if you're going to give someone like kind of like, oh, that's kind of dumb, make it like part of like the plot where it's like, oh, I need to move from here to here in the story. But it's like, oh, we kind of have to make this plot hole here. Like, and the people will forgive that. But if you just throw in this stupid strike, this stupid, worthless strike, all of a sudden now someone has a strike in their head. And maybe they're 1 strike and they're out. Maybe they're 100 strike and they're out. And so it doesn't really matter. You know, there's some people that can literally just watch a movie and can just be complete garbage on screen and they'll enjoy themselves. I'm not one of those persons, and I guarantee you that most people are not those type, but they do exist. But now you just threw a strike. Why? Why? You didn't even have to give him a beard. You never did at all. You could have ignored it. It was in the comic books. Same with the female Silver Surfer. First of all, she's not that menacing. I saw her speak in the news trailer, and they put some voice modulation on her. I'm like, she's just not menacing. I just can't take her as a bad guy, but you're trying to push her as this bad guy because the average person's like, who is this, galactic thing coming down? And it's like, oh, I'm the herald of Galactus, and Galactus is here to destroy you. Okay, it's coming from the messenger. Well, the messenger, he's got to be intimidating. She's not intimidating. I don't find her intimidating. I don't find her menacing. So it just doesn't work. And then she has her voice and she's just an actress, and they put this modulation on it and it makes it sound worse. And it's just like, because obviously she used her normal voice, and it's like, oh, well, this doesn't sound that menacing, director, does it? And like, no, let's modulate it somehow. And it's like, okay, we'll put on some effects and stuff like that. Okay, it sounds a little more menacing, like very kind of metallic-y. I guess that works, but still not menacing. So she comes down, I'd be like, I don't fear this thing. I don't fear it. I don't fear it how I should. Like, your world's about to get destroyed. I'm here to tell you your world's about to get destroyed. I don't feel it. I don't feel it. You have to wait till Galactus comes, and then you're like, oh, geez, Galactus, terrible. But at least the messenger should somewhat convey that menacing feel. She doesn't. And the director should have known that going into like, okay, we want this Silver Surfer to be somewhat menacing, somewhat like, who is this person? I fear for my life because this message is saying someone's going to destroy my world. And I get none of that from her. None of it. Maybe it's the actor's fault. Maybe it's the director's fault. Maybe it's the casting. I don't know whose fault it is. Maybe it's the writers and what they said. But it's like, even adding in her voice, modulating it somehow, it still doesn't help the fact. So there's strike 2. So I only really have 1 more strike. And then I'm out. And see, it's those things. And the trailer, it's much smaller. You only have a minute or 2. And the trailer, I'm only watching it for like, a minute or so. And I'm like, well, I already see a strike in the trailer. And so like, number one, I'm thinking, how many more strikes are there going to be in the film? And having a strike within only a minute or 2 leads me to not really be excited about the movie. It's one thing if you have 2 hours and you have a couple strikes throughout 2 hours, but if you have a strike within a minute, it's like, So that's why I'm just like not that amped about, about the Fantastic Four. I watched one of the, I don't know if it's the newest or one of the newest trailers of Superman, and I'm actually more amped for Superman now. And so I stopped watching anything Superman because I don't want, it's getting close. I got special tickets where I get to see it like before everyone else. I get to see it on the 8th. Everyone I think gets to see it on the 11th. So I'm seeing it on the 8th, and I don't want to know anything else. I want to go in as fresh as possible, and I'm hoping it'll be good. I did see someone post something, and I was like scrolling past them, no. And it was like a negative thing about, I've seen Superman, and they were negative about it. And so I'm like, okay, hopefully it's just one stupid person's opinion, or maybe it's like, a misdirection of some kind. But I'm excited for Superman. I'm not excited for Fantastic Four at all, because I've already seen 2 strikes. The Beard is a small strike, but this female Silver Surfer is a big strike. And I just don't buy it. I don't like the look. I don't like the design. She looks like she's dirty. Like, you ever take something that's chrome and then you give it to maybe your dog or a kid or something like that, and they have dirty little hands, and they put their fingerprints and dirt and smudges all over it, and it's not polished. You have to re-wipe it down. That's how she looks. She doesn't look clean. Like, she looks unpolished. Like, I don't know. Like, there's fingerprints all over her or something. I don't know. It just looks weird. Every trailer of them is like, and it's just, you get in closer, and it's just, the CGI looks bad compared to what it was back in like 2005 or 6 or 7, whenever the other one came out with Silver Surfer. It looks bad. It doesn't look good. And this is why makes me upset is they will take the Silver Surfer and the Watchman, Dr. Manhattan. Those actors physically did not look like the Silver Surfer and Dr. Manhattan. They gave them muscles. They made them look like a superhero. Obviously, the actors are in mocap suit, the gray with the little balls on all of them. They gave them super nice muscles. They made them look super fit. They made them look like a superhero. How you would think. Why didn't they do the same with her? With her, she does not look like a superheroine. She does not look like a girl from the comics. She looks kind of like your average person. And I do not know why. They will do that for guys, but they won't do that for women. It's like, oh no, we can't sexualize women. It's like, but you sexualize guys. And it makes me so mad when I see that. I'm like, why didn't you make... She's a CGI character. This is not the real actress. She's basically just a voice and, does the mocap suit. Why didn't you just make her look super attractive? Make her more look like a comic book character. Why did you have to just let's just use basically her normal body? And I'm not trying to knock the actress at all, but I'm sorry, when you do that for every other... Billy Kudrup, who plays Dr. Manhattan, does not look like that in real life. He does not have all those muscles. Same with whoever played the Silver Surfer, does not look like that in real life. They do not have all those muscles and everything like that. So it just makes me upset that they will do that for the guys, but they won't do it for the women. It's just so stupid. Everything is just, see, that's another strike. Like the whole female Silver Surfer is like one big strike. It's one big strike. And I'm like, ugh. And I know what's going to happen. I can already tell. I've told this 1,000 times. They're going to get stuck in the negative zone, and Galactus is going to destroy their world. They're going to come out of the negative zone, which will put them in whatever the Earth is that the normal MCU is in, and they will be there. And in that universe, they will have a male Silver Surfer. The normal. If he ever does show up, they might ever not use that storyline ever again, where there's a Silver Surfer and a Galactus. But they might use the storyline, hey, Galactus destroyed my world, now he's coming for your world. And they might do that. Maybe. I don't know. I really don't know if they're going to do Galactus after this Fantastic Four movie. But it just looks... And I saw the Mole Man creature. I don't know if this is like a joke. I don't know if this is part, in the Fantastic Four universe, they have like a TV cartoon. And I don't know if that's what from that. But that CGI looked like a big rubber toy. And it did not look real at all, and it looked horrible. Where the Fantastic Four it's like Fantastic Four #1, the Mole Man's creature, whatever, and they put it in there, and it's been on like Little Caesars commercials, and it just looks fake. Maybe this is like they're famous, so they're actors, kind of like how the boys, they will act in movies, or sorry, not the boys, the League of The seven will act in their own movies. Maybe that's what it is. It's kind of like they're acting or something. That's why they're celebrities. I don't know. Maybe they'll go that route. But that mole man creature, I don't know the name. Gigantic something, Gigantitis or something. I forget. Looks horrible. Horrible CGI. I'm hoping it's unfinished or it's like some weird plot thing that's why it looks the way it does. But yeah, so it's like I see strike after strike after strike after strike. The jokes didn't land at all. And yeah, I'm just not looking forward, really. I want it to be good. It's not that hard. It's really not that hard. I don't understand why they can't. Like, it's just beyond me. Who are these writers? Get rid of them. These directors, all these people. Just get rid of everyone's involved. I don't know what they're doing over there. That's it. That's my rant.